we are on the last step, which is awesome. This is a really short project, which I'm really happy about. So our very last step, we are going to top stitch all the way around the outside edge to prevent it from coming undone or kind of like getting bulky and weird. So what we're gonna do is we are going to top stitch. If you remember, when we top stitch at edge of the presser foot all the way around, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're going to line up our mask with the edge of our presser foot. I like to start on one of my sides. I'm gonna lower my presser foot, make sure my threads are pulled back, and we're gonna go all the way around, making sure we pivot at our corners. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my needle down into my fabric. Once again, we do not want to sew over our pins. So we're gonna go ahead and begin. I'm gonna backstitch to the end, or not all the way, just part of the way. And I'm gonna go forward, and I'm gonna take my first pin out. And you're gonna hear your machine is working harder because we're going through multiple layers of fabric, and that is totally fine. Pause right before you get to your next pin. All right, I'm gonna pause and take out my next pin. I'm gonna put my needle down into my fabric with my hand wheel, lift and pivot. Remember, we wanna pivot around our needle and lower my presser foot. Now is a good time to go ahead and trim your threads. So let's trim the front and the back. And we're gonna keep going. We're gonna go all the way down the straight edge. I'm gonna use my hand wheel as I get close to my corner. To get close to my corner, I'm gonna raise my presser foot with my needle down in my fabric. I'm gonna lower it. Now you're going in to the pleat, so that can be kind of tricky. We're gonna wanna go nice and slow. You can hear we're starting to go through thicker fabric, so it's gonna kind of struggle a little bit, and that's okay. I'm gonna take out my next pin. Take out my next pin. To put my needle down in my fabric, I'm gonna turn, and I'm gonna finish out this straight line. I'm gonna put my needle down in my fabric, I'm gonna turn my corner, and I actually need a back stitch. I went one stitch too far. All right, you wanna put my needle down in, I'm gonna turn, and I'm gonna get to my last part where I started, and I'm gonna go over that in back stitch, because we always wanna back stitch at the beginning and the end. Lift my presser foot, turn my hand wheel up. We're gonna pull the mask out. I'm gonna trim my threads on the front and the back, and we're done. So I have a 100% completed mask. Top stitch on the top, the sides, the bottom, and the second side. Now, when we open our mask, we wanna see where the front and the bottom, or front and back is. So the front should not have an opening. I'm gonna close this back up. The back, if you look, this is my opening. So this is where we turned it right side out, and you can see the wrong side of your fabric. If you're someone that wants to put a filter, you can put a filter inside of your mask. We're not gonna close this hole up, so just every single time you put on your mask, this is gonna be the inside, and this will be the outside. So, great job, guys. If you have any questions, let me know.